Welcome to Ignite Purpose and our monthly video, Empowering Families for Christ-Centered Transformation.
Hi, thank you so much for being with us. I have Judy McDonough. She said she'd come back, and she did. Thanks for being here again, Judy.
Oh, thank you, Victoria.
So last we were talking about identity and how God led you through your life to where you are now and all the amazing ways that He did that. And what I really want to talk to you about today is you are a mother of 4 people. You've been married for 27 and a half years, I think you said, and yet you have been doing some pretty extraordinary work. And I want to know what that was like for you. Like, you're in the workforce, and then you find out you were big in the workforce, and then you found out you're pregnant. I mean, how alone did that work for you? I mean, was that a real shift in your plan?
Well, no. For me, I was older when we got married. I was 30, and we did get pregnant right away. But from the minute we got married, I had a longing to have a family. Mm-hmm. So that part was, and then I worked part-time from home. Okay. So that was great. Okay. It was a great way to exit. Okay.
Was it hard to do part-time home and raise it?
Not with one really easy baby.
Is that right? You had a real easy one?
Very easy. She slept all the time.
Oh my gosh.
She had a great need for sleep. And so I don't remember it. And this was pre-internet. So it was, right. I don't remember it being hard. But then when I had the second, 14 or 16 months after the first.
Oh, wow.
I could not do that anymore. So, and when we got married, we made a really important decision not to spend my salary.
Okay.
So we didn't have that pressure, the financial pressure.
Right.
Which was wonderful. Although there is financial pressure on a single wage earner.
Oh gosh.
And it's something I have to say that I did not appreciate until this last year.
Is that right? Why this last year?
Because my husband is sort of semi-retired, and I've gone to full-time. In the last 7 years, I've slowly increased my hours. And so that was a wonderful way to do it, to start small and then keep adding hours as my children were getting older. And so now I'm working 40 hours a week, and he is not. Right. And I feel pressures that are giving me, in our 30s, I didn't understand what it was like to be the only wage earner in a county like that we live in.
Right. Can you imagine? I know so many single moms too doing it on their own. I just don't even know how they do everything. It's beyond me.
I have such a heart for single moms. Yeah. But I do want to, I think I have a good perspective to share with.
Please.
If I could do it again, I did not realize how the financial pressure, but also the cultural, social pressure in the church on men.
Oh,
and so now I'm working 40 hours a week, and I have a very demanding job, and I manage a lot of people, and I deal with very difficult topics. And I come home and I'm tired, and I don't always have a lot to say, and I do not want to talk about what's going on in the world or in the nation, because I've dealt with that
all day long.
And sometimes my husband wants to talk about what's going on in the nation, and I think, wow, I remember how he'd come home and I'd have such expectations and such little understanding.
That's such a great point. That's such a great point.
And it's been very healing for me to tell him I'm sorry. And sometimes I don't feel like doing the dishes if he's cooked. I still cook a lot of the time, but I think, how many times do I think, why doesn't he do the dishes? I do so much.
Right.
And now I've asked forgiveness. That's all I can do.
That's beautiful.
But I share that to anyone who's an at-home mom, to understand some of what we're told. So I was raised, maybe you were raised with, there was an ad, it was for a perfume, and it was, I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never let you forget you're a man, because I'm a woman. It's amazing how ad campaigns stick in your head.
Especially that one, I remember it very well.
And the fact is, that's such a lie.
It's such a lie.
We cannot do it all. And as I've become a working mom, one thing I've had to say is I cannot do everything I used to do as a 100% at-home mom.
Right.
Working 10 hours a week, can't do it. I thought I could, and I tried for a few years. I'm like, I can't. And women cannot work. We can't do it all, but men can't do it all either.
That's right.
They
That's
can't.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think
not without the support of the other. I mean, I think that's why.
Well, I don't think we can do it all. So there's choices that have to be made.
Yes.
And understanding.
Yes. Lots of understanding. Right.
But I didn't get this till now, and
wow. Yeah.
so maybe that will help somebody.
I'm sure it will. So when you were listening to that commercial, were you trying to do it all? Well, you were stay at home then, or were you still in the
commercial
workforce?
was in the 70s, but I think those were lies that were built into us as women.
Into us, yeah.
So I, went to law school, but then thankfully was in a Christian culture where being an at-home mom was acceptable.
Yeah.
And that helped. And my father paid for law school and never said, "Why aren't you using your education?" But I believe no education is wasted.
Yeah.
So I believe I've used it. It's been very useful.
Yeah.
But I think those lies are there.
Yeah.
And then, so when I started working, I thought, okay, I'm working, but I'm also going to do all the laundry, cook all the... It doesn't.
Something's gotta give, yeah.
And sometimes it's your health or...
Right.
But
Unfortunately, it is sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, so then you had two other children. You had two other children.
Right. Well, and 3 and 3 years, and then 7 years later, a fourth.
Oh my, yeah. That's a big span.
And so, yeah, go ahead.
So, well, how was that? I mean, while you were doing that, I think you had mentioned maybe in our last time we spoke that it was very healing for you to be there with your children.
It was. I was always self-conscious with people, and my first child is a red-haired girl, a conversation starter.
Okay.
I never know how to start a conversation, but when you have a red-haired baby, it's so easy. People always want to talk, and just being able to love and be loved, I think, and I had such fun with my kids and really played with them, and sometimes I get frustrated over the years and say, why do I have to play every game we play? Mom, you're fun. You make it more fun.
Isn't that nice?
And that was one of the lies I believed. So isn't that interesting?
Isn't it? Yeah, that God had you just have to hear that over and over and over again. I love it.
Yeah.
So was it hard at all when you started up again? I mean, was that a whole new...
It was.
Talk about that.
So it was hard because I had such high expectations for myself of what I could do, and because I loved being an at-home mom. And there are things I really wanted to do still. So that was hard. And then I don't know about other people's kids, but as my kids went to college, they still needed me.
Yeah, sure.
So juggling that, and then balancing. I heard someone say once that this idea of balancing isn't biblical, that the Lord says, whatever you do, do it with all your heart as unto the Lord and not unto man. So maybe just choosing, and I think I am learning that after 7 years of working again, choosing what I am going to do and what I'm not going to do, what I can do and what I can't do.
So how are you finding what that is for yourself?
Well, I think it's every season is different. I do think every season.
Wise word.
So my youngest is in high school, and one child has bounced back home with some health problems, and then one is training for special forces, and another in law school. So this is the season we're in right now. And how they need me is different, but I do think my health is important.
Yeah.
And I see that in a lot of women, but yeah. So
we're all trying to do too much.
I think so. In fact, I just went to a retreat, and the Lord said, you're not going to add in 2024, you're going to take away.